Howdy.
Hey man, how's it going?
Pretty good. What you doing here, man?
Water flower.
Are they saying that, is that your vehicle?
Nah,
It's not?
it's the neighbor's vehicle.
The neighbors?
314, I'll be on 13.
Okay.
Yeah,
You live here?
nah, I don't live here.
Okay. They saying that this vehicle is not supposed to be here and you're not supposed to be
Who's
here.
saying that?
They called about it. I don't know who called.
I'm supposed to be here. I'm Pastor Jennings. I live across the street.
You're Pastor Jennings?
Yes, I'm looking out for their house while they gone.
Okay.
Watering their flowers.
Okay. Well, that's cool. Now, do you have like ID and all?
Oh no, man. I'm not gonna give you no ID.
Why not?
I ain't did nothing wrong. And they did
Well,
nothing
you look,
suspicious.
listen. I'm not saying do nothing wrong.
Dog, listen,
There's a suspicious person.
Look, I used to be a police officer in Goodwater. Don't come here with that. Okay.
Look, man, don't do this to me.
Yeah.
There's a suspicious person in the yard, and if you're not one to identify yourself.
I don't have to identify myself. It's not a stop and identify state.
In a town where most nights pass without incident, a routine police call set in motion a chain of events that would later be examined by federal judges. A man stood in a residential yard, performing a task he had done before, at a location familiar to him. Nothing appeared broken. Nothing was taken. No crime was reported in progress. Yet, within minutes, law enforcement officers arrived and began asking questions that carried legal weight. The exchange that followed was recorded from multiple angles, preserved in digital memory. What began as a request soon shifted into a confrontation governed by authority, compliance, and interpretation of the law. By the end of the night, one man was in handcuffs, charged with a crime that would later be dismissed. The footage would circulate widely, the legal arguments would take years, and the unanswered questions would linger far beyond the street where it started. Before we dive in, drop a comment and let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you. If you enjoy true crime stories like this, be sure to like the video, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and share it with someone who'd love it too.
I don't care who called y'all. Lock me up and see what happens. I want you to.
Hey, man, just come here and talk to us.
I'm gonna go water these back flowers is what I'm gonna do. Who called y'all?
Well, if you would let us talk to you, we can figure stuff out.
You ain't gotta talk.
You know, you're going to catch an obstruction charge if you keep walking away.
You can do whatever you want. Do it. Do it.
We're just trying to talk to you, man. Come here.
313, 314, follow.
I'm 10-4. We got one that's not listening to us. Look, man, let me see your phone. Let me see your phone, dude. Just calm down, okay?
No.
Stop.
I like this.
Okay. We're just trying to talk to you and see.
I don't want to argue with you, okay?
All right, go ahead and do what you gotta do, Doc. Do what you got to do. Go on and
Okay.
lock me up.
Look, just have a
It's
seat.
already
not
a
locked
lawsuit.
up, you're
It's
just-
already a lawsuit,
Yes,
Doc.
sir. Yes, sir.
It's already a
Okay.
lawsuit.
Just have a seat, okay?
Okay? Already a lawsuit. Already a lawsuit.
313, show us.
Hey, let me get-
1026, one black man. Sit down. Sit down, man. Just
Okay, let me call my wife.
you're not calling
My
nobody.
son just got racially profiled in Michigan. He's got his master's degree. He's an athletic director. 3 police profiler came in. I was ex-police officer in Goodwater. I told you I'm a pastor.
Okay, look, man.
Who called y'all?
We,
I don't have to ID
you
myself.
will not
I
listen.
have a call on you. You have to identify yourself to me.
I
You
don't.
understand what
No,
I'm
I
telling
don't.
you?
No, I don't. You wait, watch how you want. Take me down, book me. Go do what you need to do. Go do what you need to do.
I think it's going to be.
Please call my wife right quick.
We're going to wait off.
You're not
All right.
operating me
Well, y'all
like
sit with him, Jeremy. I'm going to go over here if it's 6 people over here that call.
No, it's all right.
313.
Go ahead.
Can you have the 72 that called step out and talk to her?
Too much time.
Come up here.
Hey, you know what? You know what? 1015. 1015. 1015. I ain't gonna sit there and have that, dude.
Will you let my wife?
No, you ain't letting nothing now.
Appreciate it. Okay, I will.
313. You show me 1015, one black man.
Yeah.
I got to get gas, so he needs to go on someone else.
Just call it the jail. I call it the jail.
I'm on this car right
I mean, I don't know if they called.
now. We'll
if
look
she,
on the log and see who called.
I mean, I saw the gold SUV. So, and I saw him outside, and all I did said, "Hey man, do you live here?" "No." "Is that your car?" "No, it's the neighbor's." So I'm finna go over here and run the tag.
No, okay. He's not going to cooperate.
Oh no, sitting there hollering.
I'm trying to explain to him that we got a call, we have the right to identify him, and he says I'm talking to him like a child.
If you're a pastor and you're here watering a neighbor's yard, that's fine if you got permission.
No trespassing, private property.
313, 1072, stepping out.
10-4. 313 swapping the record.
Come on.
313 on records.
You're up.
313, can you run a 28 for me? A golden color Chevy Tahoe. This is 505.
Yes.
She says she's stepping outside.
Childersburg is a small municipality in Talladega County, Alabama, with a population of just over 5,000 residents. The town is primarily residential, marked by single-family homes, churches, local businesses, and limited nightlife. Crime rates in Childersburg are generally lower than those of larger nearby cities, and serious violent incidents are relatively infrequent. For many residents, the town is perceived as quiet and predictable, particularly during weekday evenings. Law enforcement presence in Childersburg is visible but limited in scale. The local police department operates with a small number of officers assigned to patrol residential neighborhoods, respond to emergency calls, and conduct traffic enforcement. Routine police encounters often involve traffic stops, welfare checks, or responses to citizen calls reporting suspicious activity. These encounters typically begin with brief questioning and end without further action if no violation is identified. In this environment, the expectation of safety is shaped more by familiarity than by enforcement. Residents often recognize one another, and unusual activity is more likely to be noticed due to the lack of constant movement. It was within this setting that a routine evening call unfolded into a recorded police encounter that would later be reviewed in federal court. Michael Jennings is a Christian pastor who lived and worked in Childersburg at the time of the incident. His early life details are not extensively documented in public records, but by adulthood, Jennings had established himself as a religious leader within the local community. He pursued ministry as a vocation and became known primarily through his role as a pastor. Jennings founded and led Vision of Abundant Life Church, a small church serving congregants in and around the Childersburg area. His responsibilities included conducting services, providing pastoral counseling, and managing church-related activities. The church operated as both a place of worship and a community gathering space. Within the community, Jennings was regarded as a local religious figure rather than a public official or activist. His daily routines were consistent and included church work, errands, and interactions with neighbors. He lived nearby and was familiar with the surrounding residential area. Jennings had previously assisted neighbors with tasks such as property checks and minor upkeep when they were away. His relationships with nearby residents were based on proximity and repeated interactions rather than formal agreements. These arrangements were informal and based on trust rather than documentation.
She says she's stepping outside. Are you talking to the 72? Do you know that gentleman back?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Does he have
He
permission?
lives right there.
Okay, does he have permission here to be watering flowers?
He may, because they are friends.
Okay.
And they went out of town today, so
Right.
he may be watering their flowers.
Okay.
It'd be completely normal.
Okay,
And that's
is
fine.
that's fine. If he would have said, "Hey, I got this," gave his identification because he's a suspicious person, he said that's not his vehicle; it's their vehicle.
We
Okay.
have a call. Like,
Yeah.
we're here because we're called here. I don't know who called, but somebody did.
Did you call us?
313. Rory Milam of Childersburg on a 2004 Chevy Tahoe. No color listed. Registration is valid till 6/30 of 22, negative 29.
10-4, you did say the name's Roy Mallon.
10-4.
10-4, thanks for my south.
10-4.
Yeah, he lives right there, and he would be watering their flowers. This is probably my fault.
Okay, do you know who Roy Mallon is? That's the person that owns that vehicle.
Roy Milam.
Roy
Ask
Mallon.
him who
Gold
owns the
Tahoe.
house. I don't know the guy's name. I don't know who owns. It could be their
Can
vehicle.
y'all do, Mr.
Step out.
Miss Sister Connie and
What's wrong with you?
my cuffs a little bit tight. If y'all don't mind loosening them up.
Sure he is.
Listen to me, man. Is that better?
Actually about to go over to his house.
Listen, let me talk to you. Who is Roy Mallon? That's you, ain't it?
I'm Michael Jennings, sir.
You're Michael Jennings. Who is Roy Mallon?
I don't know.
Okay, that's who that vehicle belongs to.
Yeah, that's
Who
all I
lives
know.
in-
His name is Roy.
That's who lives here?
That's Roy. I call him Roy and call his wife Connie, and I've been dealing with him for 7 years that I've been
Yeah.
living here.
They are friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you called not because of the car, but because you thought you saw someone besides him.
Right, I didn't know it was him.
Yeah,
I'm sorry
I got to
about
keep their
that.
flowers watered. I got to keep their flowers watered
I'm
while
so
they're gone.
sorry.
You okay?
Listen.
And by the way, I won't get to come to the graduation, but we're going to get you signed something.
No, don't.
Listen,
Yeah,
listen,
I wanna
listen,
do
listen,
something.
listen to me, man. Listen to
We
me.
are
Anytime the police come out and they
She'll
say,
bring it, Sarah.
we want to identify you, you have to identify yourself because there's a reasonable suspicion, there's a reasonable man, there's a
That has to
vehicle.
commit a crime.
There-
The incident occurred on a residential street composed of detached houses with front yards and driveways. The properties were owner-occupied or rented by long-term residents. The street had limited through traffic and was primarily used by those who lived in the area or were visiting. The neighborhood included residents of varying ages and backgrounds. Demographic data indicates a mix of racial and social groups typical of small Alabama towns. There was no record of heightened criminal activity specific to the street in question. Prior police activity in the area consisted mainly of routine patrols and responses to resident calls. There were no publicly reported incidents indicating that the neighborhood was considered high risk or under special surveillance. Neighbors were generally aware of each other's routines. Residents leaving town often made informal arrangements for property checks or basic maintenance. These interactions were common and typically did not involve written authorization. In May 2022, a neighbor of Jennings planned to leave town for a period of time. Before departing, the neighbor asked Jennings to water the plants at their residence while they were away. The request was verbal and informal. This was not the first time Jennings had performed this task. According to later accounts, he had watered the plants on previous occasions under similar circumstances. There were no objections or concerns raised during those earlier instances. On the evening of the incident, Jennings arrived at the property to carry out the request. The time of day was later in the evening, but visibility remained adequate due to street lighting and house lights. Weather conditions were normal, and there were no reported environmental factors affecting the situation. Jennings began watering plants in the front yard using a hose connected to the residence. The activity was visible from the street. At some point during Jennings' presence on the property, another individual contacted emergency services. The caller was later identified in reports as a neighbor. The call described a suspicious person on the property. The language used during the call focused on the presence of an unfamiliar individual rather than a specific criminal act. No report was made of property damage, theft, or forced entry. The dispatcher classified the call as a suspicious person report. Based on standard procedure, the dispatcher relayed the information to on-duty officers for investigation. Officers were assigned to respond to the location to assess the situation and determine whether any criminal activity was occurring. Multiple officers arrived at the scene in patrol vehicles. Body-worn cameras were activated as they approached the property. The footage later released shows Jennings standing in the yard holding a hose and watering plants. The officers' initial observation did not include signs of forced entry or property damage. Jennings was not attempting to leave the scene upon their arrival. The first verbal interaction involved officers asking Jennings what he was doing on the property. Jennings responded that he was watering plants for a neighbor who was away. He spoke calmly and did not attempt to evade questioning. Officers requested identification from Jennings. In response, he verbally identified himself and stated that he lived nearby. He also informed them that he was a pastor. The legal context of the interaction centered on whether Jennings was being detained under reasonable suspicion.
Who's Roy Milam? That's you, ain't it?
I'm Michael Jennings, sir.
You're Michael Jennings. Who is Roy Milam?
I don't know.
Okay, that's who that vehicle belongs to.
Yeah, that's
Who
all I
lives
know.
here?
His name is Roy.
That's who lives here?
That's Roy. I call him Roy and I call his wife Connie, and I've been dealing with him for 7 years that I've been living here.
They are friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you called not because of the car, but because you thought you saw someone besides him.
Right, I didn't know it was him.
Yeah, I got to keep their flowers watered. I got to keep their flowers watered while they're gone. You okay? And by the way, I won't get to come to the graduation, but we're going to get your son something.
No, don't.
Listen to me, man. Listen to me. Anytime the police come out and they say, we want to identify you, you have to identify yourself because there's a reasonable suspicion, there's a reasonable man, there's a vehicle. There's a reasonable suspicion that you're here. There's not a crime.
Yeah.
If you would have said, yeah, here's my name, here's everything, we were like, okay.
I told him my name.
You didn't tell me your name.
I decided, he asked me who I was. I said,
You didn't give it to me when I first asked.
Pastor Jennings. Pastor Jennings.
That's not a name. That's a pastor.
Yeah.
I need your name.
The way y'all handle this situation was totally wrong.
Well, listen.
You racial profile.
We're not racial profile.
Yes, you did.
No, sir. No, sir. We're not about that.
I told you I was here watering the flowers.
How do I know that's the truth? Anybody.
I had the water hose in my hand. I was watering all the flowers.
Anybody can pick a hose pipe up.
He is gonna be so pissed when I tell him I got arrested watering his flowers. 7 years we've been friends.
We got that. Look, let's sit back in here.
Okay.
You can sit down. Give me, so we can get this going on the ball. All right. What is your social?
I'm not gonna give him a social.
You need to give me your social.
I'll give you my name. That's all I'm gonna give you. You're not gonna run no 27 and 28 on me and get me in the system for no reason.
All right, what's your name?
The girl already told you who I am.
Okay, yes.
I'm Michael Jennings. That's all you
Michael Jennings.
Michael Jennings.
Spell your first name.
M-I-C-H-A-E-L.
A-E-L?
That's it.
Jennings, J-E-N-N.
Yes, sir.
I-N.
G-S.
G-S. What's your date of birth?
1/17/66.
1/17/66. All right. Sit in the car for me.
Yes, sir.
We'll handle this in just a
Can
second.
you give me can you let the window? It's hot.
Yeah. Will you let the window down a little bit for him? What are we going to do with him?
We'll see the charge of, I guess, disorderly conduct, the failure to obey a police officer. He refused to give any information.
He said he's not going to give me his social, but he gave me his name and date of birth.
Okay, and she's saying the same thing. She won't give her name.
Huh?
Yeah, because he got arrested.
Jesus.
So, we'll just go by the computer on there.
Okay.
And I'll write a statement with you. He told me, I tried to explain it to him.
Right.
And he said, I'm talking to him like a boy. I said, if you'll just listen to me, you're being audio and video recorded. What we're trying to do is identify yourself and what's going on here. He wouldn't even let me. He wanted to yell over me and say we're racial profiling and I'm talking to him like he's a boy.
Nobody was doing that. 313 swapping back director.
Sure.
313 on records.
Tommy Jam. Gun.
10-4, I got a name and date of birth. Michael Jennings. It's going to be January 17th, 1966. Cut this water off so the water bill's not outrageous. The water was on, but I mean, all he had to do is identify himself.
That's exactly. That's it.
Jesus.
And there's no problem with calling police out here. There's no problem.
313, your soldier by name and date of birth, Michael Jennings, 117 of 66, returns with a oil. Current class Delta Mike, negative 20 on.
Check for thing. If I make that. He's close.
Careful.
Yeah, let's pull him up on move.
No, I got his oil in now.
Yeah. You do the same thing, but her name and phone number is going to be on the notes.
Is it now?
It will be. She's going to call 911.
Brandon knows her pretty well. Where's it at? Suspicious view.
Amanda, and there's her phone number.
Yeah.
If we have to get her last name, all we got to do is go by it or on her tag.
What's she running for?
I have no idea.
Vice shouldn't be anyone at the residence.
She's going to get his wife, just so y'all know.
Okay. I mean, this could have been all avoided if he would have just.
Well, I told her that. And every time I try to tell him, he just says, "You good, man? I appreciate this. I appreciate it." You know, because all he does is racial profiling. He's suing. That's all he would say. You couldn't talk to him.
Well, wasn't going to detain him until he walked away, started coming to the front yard saying he's coming to water these plants, and then he gets his phone out and he just keeps speeding, walking away. And I said, "Okay, fine, come here." And because at that point I realized he's not going to do anything to help us out.
What's the charges? So just obstruction?
Disorderly or obstruction.
Obstruction.
I'll just do obstruction.
Obstruction of governmental operations.
Yeah.
We're here to investigate a call, and he wouldn't give us his
Yeah.
name or any other thing. Yeah, we told him he was trying to call the owner, but still, I need his name. You know, we got to have his name.
Yeah.
I'll take him over to the PD for you.
Yeah, I'll go get gas.
If there's no in the bond book, if it's not listed, just do the lowest one, the 500. I don't know if it's going to be in the bond book or not. That way we won't be overcharging or anything like that.
He seems like a reasonable, nice guy. I don't understand. You know,
He shouldn't.
To be honest with
If
you-
he's a good water police, he said this ain't an identifying state. Yes, it is.
well, I mean, it doesn't matter if he's pastor or if he's a pastor or not. Like the thing is, he seems like a nice enough, reasonable guy.
Hey, what?
Yeah.
Just talk to us, man. Like,
Well, we don't have
Don't
to
forget,
go
Sarah.
ahead and clear it before we start getting calls.
Check over 24 status.
Come on.
Did you get his phone?
Under Alabama law, an individual is not required to produce physical identification unless lawfully detained based on reasonable suspicion of a crime. Jennings asked officers whether he was being detained or accused of wrongdoing. He declined to provide physical identification, stating that he had already identified himself verbally and that he had not committed a crime. As the interaction continued, the tone of the officers shifted. Requests for identification were repeated. The focus of the encounter moved away from verifying the initial suspicious person call and toward Jennings's refusal to present physical ID. Jennings maintained his position and continued to decline providing identification. During this time, officers did not articulate a specific crime that Jennings was suspected of committing. Despite the absence of an alleged offense, the refusal to provide physical identification became the basis for further action. The encounter escalated toward enforcement rather than clarification, setting the stage for what followed next. After repeated requests for physical identification and continued refusal, officers informed Jennings that he was under arrest. The stated basis was a violation of Alabama law for obstructing government operations. Officers moved in to physically detain him. The body camera footage shows officers taking control of Jennings' arms and placing him in handcuffs. During the arrest, officers stated that Jennings's failure to comply with the request for identification constituted interference with their investigation. No additional criminal conduct was cited at the scene. There was no allegation of trespass, theft, or property damage communicated at that time. The handcuffing occurred in the yard of the residence where Jennings had been watering plants. Officers then escorted him toward a patrol vehicle. The arrest concluded the on-scene interaction without further investigation into the initial suspicious person report. Jennings was placed in the back of a patrol car. Body camera and in-car footage captured portions of the transport to the local detention facility. During the drive, officers discussed the charge and the refusal to provide identification. No new allegations were introduced. Upon arrival at the jail, Jennings underwent the standard intake process. This included identity verification, documentation of the charge, and processing procedures typical for misdemeanor arrests. His personal belongings were inventoried. Jennings remained in custody for a brief period. The duration of detention did not extend beyond standard booking and release procedures. He was later released from custody. The conditions of his release did not include ongoing supervision or restrictions beyond the dismissed charge. Several days after the arrest, the charge of obstructing government operations was dismissed. The decision was made by the Childersburg police chief. No court hearing on the merits of the charge took place prior to dismissal. The official explanation indicated that the department chose not to pursue the case further. The dismissal occurred without Jennings entering a plea or being convicted of any offense. No alternative charges were filed.
Everything's 10-4. That's fine. Come on.
Oh, fuck. Got the whole cul-de-sac.
It's okay. Hey, we are working it out. It don't work out.
I can tell you what all happened if you like, ma'am.
Okay.
That's my
Okay.
thought. They're
So
the wire right
you're
there.
good. You're good. So we got a
They're the
call.
wire.
Hold on, his
There's
wife
the
is coming, so you can do this once.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's fine.
Come on. I looked out the door, Daddy. I was wondering where you were.
Yeah.
I thought you was outside
Because
doing
they're
the...
trying to make me identify myself. I told them I don't have to identify myself. I have to commit the crime. She came over and told them that she made a mistake and they still want to try to do something to get my structure charge for me.
Okay.
Because I wouldn't listen to them.
I'll tell you what's
Okay,
going on,
Daddy.
okay? And so we got a call here, okay? Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we'll need his ID.
I'm just
He
gonna take his
can-
ID and we're
Well,
gonna
we'll
do
just.
it
Daddy.
with you.
He wants to take his
Do
whole
you
wallet
want
or
them
just.
to give your
I
ID?
just wanted you to know who he was.
No,
Okay.
don't give no ID.
No, that's fine.
Don't
Okay.
give
That's
no
fine.
ID.
Okay.
If you don't give me an ID and we don't have a way to identify him, I will have to book him on John Doe. But if he's got it, then that's fine. Okay. No
Yeah,
problem.
he's okay. So he's been
I'll
identified. He's
tell you what
identified
happened.
himself.
We
She's
get a call
identified
here.
him and
Okay.
verified
Her.
who he is and where
Because
he
she didn't know
lives.
who
I'm
was
the
here.
missionary, so
But when we get here, of course, we're going to immediately investigate the call.
yes.
Find him on scene. All he's doing is watering the plants, and that's not a problem.
That's
What do you
not a
want? What do you want to
And
do?
we say, hey,
Your phone is
sir,
at the
we have a
house.
call here.
What do you want us to
Need
do?
you to identify yourself, please. Like, no, I'm not identifying myself. You don't have to identify me, and so on. And he began to walk away. And
Okay.
he's just, we wouldn't listen, and he's walking away, so of
Okay,
course
so
we
what do you
detained
want us to
him.
do?
We don't know what's going on.
Gotcha.
After that, we radioed for them to contact her, have her step out and talk to us. Well, she does tell us it's a mistake and all that stuff. But at this point, he's already collected the charge. Once we place him on arrest, we can't unarrest him. Does that make sense?
This is so simple. And the neighbor just told him this morning, please water the plants and,
he's-
take care of
he
them.
said
Look
that,
out
but it
for
was
the
all
house.
afterwards. It was all afterwards. And all we told him was like, if you're here to water the plants, that's okay. Just please identify yourself, just your name, and let us call the owner. And he didn't want to do that until he caught the
Father
charge.
God.
So.
So what do we need to do now? What do
He'll-
you
So
want
he's
me to do?
gonna,
What
he's
you want me
gonna
to
go
do?
to the Childersburg Police Department. We're gonna process the arrest report. It's gonna be one charge for obstruction of our investigation. He'll go to the jail. He can bond out immediately. You can get your
Yeah.
bondsman. It'll be 10% of the bond.
So it'd be like $50.
We're not investigating a crime. We're investigating a call, and we have a right to identify anybody involved in that call.
But eventually he didn't identify himself.
He's walking
why
away
he's
and
gotta
yelling
go
at
to
us
jail.
and telling us we have no right, and we have a call there. But if he wants to fight it in court, that's fine.
Is it okay if I talk to him?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am. That's fine. No problem. You both can if you like to. No problem. Like I said, we need to clear up.
Huh?
Clear up.
Need to clear up?
Yeah.
All right. We gotta go.
The timing of the dismissal came after internal review and increasing public attention. The case was closed at the municipal level, but the incident itself remained documented through official records and recorded footage. Following the dismissal, body camera footage from the arrest was released to the public. The video showed the full sequence from officers' arrival to the arrest and transport. The footage became widely circulated through news organizations and social media platforms. Media framing focused on the legality of the arrest and the circumstances under which identification can be demanded by police. The footage clearly showed Jennings watering plants and verbally identifying himself. It also showed repeated requests for physical identification and the absence of an articulated reminder of a specific crime prior to the arrest. What the footage did not show included any evidence of criminal activity beyond refusal to provide ID. It did not capture the initial 911 call itself, only officers' response to it. The video became central to subsequent legal analysis. Following the release of the footage and dismissal of charges, Jennings filed a federal civil rights lawsuit against the officers involved. The lawsuit alleged violations of his constitutional rights under the Fourth Amendment, which protects against unreasonable searches and seizures. The claims argued that officers lacked reasonable suspicion or probable cause to detain or arrest him, and that the arrest was unlawful. The suit also challenged the interpretation of Alabama's obstruction statute as applied in this case. The defendant officers asserted qualified immunity, a legal doctrine that shields government officials from personal liability unless they violate clearly established constitutional rights. The district court initially considered these arguments as part of pretrial motions. The case advanced to the federal appellate level after motions regarding qualified immunity. A panel of judges reviewed the body camera footage and the factual record. The appellate court concluded that, based on the evidence presented, the officers lacked probable cause to arrest Jennings for obstructing government operations. The court found that refusing to provide physical identification, absent lawful detention based on reasonable suspicion, did not constitute obstruction under the circumstances shown. As a result, the court ruled that the officers were not entitled to qualified immunity at that stage of the case. This decision allowed Jennings' lawsuit to proceed toward further litigation. The ruling did not determine final liability, but addressed whether the case could move forward. The denial of immunity was significant because it clarified legal standards surrounding identification requests and arrest authority. The case became part of broader discussions about policing standards and citizen encounters. Suspicious person calls, which are common in residential areas, were examined in terms of how they are interpreted and acted upon by law enforcement. Legal analysts noted that the case highlighted the limits of police authority when no specific crime is alleged. It also raised questions about how officers distinguish between investigation and detention in practice. Civil liberties organizations reference the case in discussions about everyday encounters and constitutional protections. The ruling contributed to case law addressing when refusal to cooperate constitutes a criminal offense. As of the most recent updates, the civil lawsuit remains ongoing in federal court. Further proceedings are expected to address liability and potential damages. Jennings continues his role as a pastor. His professional standing within his church has not been altered by the arrest or dismissed charge. He has participated in public discussions regarding the incident, but has not faced additional criminal proceedings related to it. Community response has included public commentary, media coverage, and legal analysis. No disciplinary outcomes for the officers have been publicly confirmed as final at this stage. Several questions remain unresolved, including how similar calls will be handled in the future and whether policy changes will follow. The case underscores the role of institutional accountability through judicial review rather than internal resolution alone. The incident represents a documented sequence in which a routine police response escalated into an arrest, later deemed unsupported by probable cause. Its significance lies not in a single outcome, but in how recorded evidence, statutory interpretation, and constitutional standards intersected under scrutiny. The events continue to serve as a reference point for examining the boundaries of lawful authority in ordinary settings.